Happy Independence Day. I love this day. This is a great day to celebrate what we are. To me, it's interesting that we call it Independence Day. I know that it means our independence from a tyrannical government, a tyrannical nation who tried to prevent people from their individual freedoms. But I also think it's interesting that we call it Independence Day, and that what it means is that you and I, each one of us, have the right to be independent. So what does that mean? Hi, Delaney. Hi, Keaton. So I was thinking about that, and I actually have some notes with me today. Let me grab them. So what is freedom? We talk about us living in the land of the free, the home of the brave. What is freedom? Well, according to the dictionary, freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Okay? And then that definition was broken down even more. Hi, Emily! And so, under that definition, the next definition says is the absence of subjection to foreign domination or tyrannical power, which is exercising power in a cruel or oppressive way. So what does that mean? To me, that means that when something tries to oppress me or my family or my community or my nation, my state, my job, that I have the right to vocalize, unionize, peacefully demonstrate, stand up for what I believe in, and try to create change. That I won't be enslaved or hurt, hopefully, by my government if I choose to do that. And that we as a people can stand up and have the rights to say what we are and what we believe. It means I have the right to display my American flag. But it also gives my neighbors the right not to. So that is what it means to not be subjected to tyranny. Is to be able to have that ability to be you. Now that's a really neat gift. That I know that we as Americans, hi Brooke, that we as Americans do not necessarily appreciate, especially those of us who've lived here our whole lives and were born and raised here, of what it means to live in a land with that as its foundation. Another definition of freedom is the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. And so as I was thinking about what that could mean, I thought this. If I cannot live within the rules or expectations of an organization, a community, a job, a family, then I have the right to leave. So many places around this world, they don't have that right. They don't. They're stuck in a town, a community, a job, a role, an expectation, simply because of who they are, where they were born, the color of their skin, their gender, their sexuality. But here in America, hi Christine! Here in America, we have the right to be able to say, I cannot abide being in this organization, this family even. And I have the right, if I cannot live my conscience of what I feel to keep peace in my heart, is that I have the right to leave. Have you ever thought about what a blessing it is to have that right? That right to leave and to change and to move? Many around our world don't. But here, we are independent on this Independence Day that we can do that. Okay, and so another part of freedom another definition is the state of being physically unrestricted and be able to move around. I can choose where I live. I can get in my car or a plane where I've purchased a ticket and I don't need permission. Hi, Misty. I can simply go. Yesterday, our family decided to drive to a new county. We went across county lines without permission, without telling anybody. We just got in our car and we went. And we went to Natural Bridge for a picnic as a family. And it was wonderful. But a lot of places, because we were simply by leaving our community, we would have to have permission. But being in an independent nation, hi Addie Sprouse, I love you, girl. By being an independent nation, I am able to do that. What a blessing. And that at my picnic, I can choose what to cook or not to cook. I can choose what a picnic is and how we do that in my family, in my organization. For example, when I am craving chicken strips and French fries, I can go to Peach's Family Restaurant if they're open. I'm allowed. If I'm having that craving, I am not restricted because of my social class or my status. I can just go and I can do that. And so what a blessing and opportunity it is. And also the ability of being physically unrestrained and move is, as a female, I am able to have as much education as I want. And I can go to school, I can change jobs, I can do what I want to do as a woman and still follow those and pursue those. For many of us around the world, because of our gender, we're not given the ability to move forward with our education, with our knowledge, with our skills. So I'm grateful to be independent and be able to make that choice for myself on what I want to do and how much education I have. Also, part of being free is the state of not being subject to or affected by any undesirable thing. So that means that if something's undesirable to me, I can choose to change. Now, that doesn't mean I have the right to force anybody else to change either. And I think that's where we as a nation are struggling. That we have groups that feel like they have the right to tell others how to do things, and that maybe that's not our place. But we have the right to make some choices. So, for example, I can choose to be unemployed or choose to be employed. I can choose to live in a house or an apartment. I can choose to rent or own. I can choose to the foods I don't like. I can choose to order what I want from a menu. I can choose how I provide for my family. And I can choose how my children are educated. I have the right to those choices. And if I get somewhere and I'm not comfortable or happy with that, then I have the right to change, or to move, or to leave, or to quit, or to request that change happen. The other thing about being an independent nation is, hi Jamie, is that we have the right to stand up and try to make positive change. Now, our nation has a lot of I don't know a nation that doesn't. But I am proud to be of a nation with the foundations that we have. And because of that, women have been granted the right to vote. Yeah, it took a lot of work, but we did it. Hi, Shanice. I also know that we have been able to work on changing what rights mean, equality means for all people. And that we are fighting that today, of what it means to be of a certain race or gender or ethnicity or sexuality. And those are things that we are allowed to fight for. We don't have to worry that our government's going to storm our house because we have a pride flag or not at our house, right? So how cool is it that we're independent on this Independence Day? And I hope that as we move forward in this era that has changed suddenly, 2020, we started off the year a completely different nation than we are now. Half the year gone. But I hope that we are learning and growing. And the growing pains hurt. They really, really do. And things are happening that maybe aren't okay. But maybe in the process of things not being okay, we can figure out what is. So we can keep the independence that our nation is founded on. And allow people to be who they are. And not expect anybody to be what they're not. As long as it's for good. Okay, I have to clarify that. We still have, hi Brad! We still have the responsibility to have guidelines and organization rules so that people are safe and they can have the freedoms they have. So there's a balance. And sometimes the balance gets skewed. And I think we're seeing that. But I am so grateful to live in this great land. I am so grateful for the people that have fought for the right for us to be independent, to have these freedoms. I am so grateful for the soldiers today, the military men and women, and their families, and they're ready for war or peacetime. I'm grateful for those that came before me who have served in other conflicts, whether they were popular or not. The history that we have in our nation the last 100 years with the war in Afghanistan, with the Vietnam War, the Korean War, World War I and II, they weren't always popular. But I admire those that served and stood up for that, even if they were unsure of exactly what they were fighting for. They knew they were fighting for a nation and for freedoms of people around the world. I'm grateful to be an American today. And I hope that we can all stand as Americans, stand up, and allow each other to have the freedoms so that we can all have freedoms that we hold dear. Okay? Signing out. Have a good day. Finish.